I can't believe how lazy you're being, Sasha. How about you do some housework once in a while? Who do you think is the reason you're able to live in such a large 6-bedroom house with a living, dining, and kitchen? Not everyone is fortunate enough to live in a great place like this. Why don't you do something for your family for once? Yolanda, why on earth are you having a go at me about this right now? I'm in the middle of working right now. There's no point to you attacking me like this. Well, I didn't know that you even had a job. Look, you're somebody's wife, Sasha. How about you do a better job of it? Do you even realize that you're able to live a good life because of my wealth? Oh, come on, Yolanda. I honestly don't understand why you're treating me like this when I do my best to be a good wife and worker. Besides, I don't think that's even remotely true. I do my part at the house. I knew you were going to start acting up like this. I knew you were nothing but a useless and lazy wife that takes no responsibility for her actions. You say that you've got to leave the house because you have so much work to do. You think that it's okay to just leave all the work that needs to be done in the house to someone else, am I right? If that's the case, why don't we make Dylan do the housework as well? He clearly has more time on his hands than me. Before you all moved into this house, I was still doing quite a bit of the housework. Ever since you've moved in, no housework has been done at all by any of you. Are you being serious right now? You're going to make Dylan do the housework? Are you kidding me? Don't make your husband do all the housework. That's such a lazy thing to do. You should be doing it yourself. It's your job. If you actually sit down and think about it for a little bit, you'll understand that you need to do more work. No, What the heck, Yolanda? Don't you think the ideal you have when it comes to what men and women do is a bit old school? If you actually use your brain, you'll know that I'm the breadwinner in the family. I think it's more efficient if others who have more time on their hands do the housework. It just makes a lot more sense, Yolanda. Ugh, it's very annoying when you talk like you're always right. I really hate that about you. I'm sorry? Why would you say something so cruel to me? I've done absolutely nothing to you. I hate everything about you, Sasha. I don't know what my son ever saw in you. You need to get out of this house and leave us alone. You're just a lazy housewife who doesn't contribute to the housework in any shape or form. Just watching you live in the house doing nothing is such an eyesore. It's so painful. Oh, okay. Please, go ahead and say whatever you like, Yolanda. You think you can just say terrible things like that because you're my mother-in-law? You know nothing of the truth. I think if you actually knew the whole truth, then you'd keep your mouth shut and not say a single word. What truth? What on earth are you talking about, Sasha? Tell me what you mean by that. Are you sure I'm allowed to say something? You want to know the truth? You've not wanted to hear me out before now. Just hurry up and tell me. I'm getting sick of waiting. You're such a horrible woman to deal with. You know for a fact that I would do anything to support the lifestyle of this family. To be honest, it's thanks to me that you're able to live in this house, Yolanda. Oh, come on, Sasha, don't make me laugh. That's crap and you know it. Stop making such silly remarks and get back here early today for once. If you don't do some housework, I'll throw out all your belongings. You don't deserve to be in this house if you don't put in the work. Are you insane? That's just too much, Yolanda. It's so rude to make demands without listening to what other people have to say. I'm going to let Dylan know what's going on. If you won't listen to me, then at least listen to your own son. Dylan, can you please do something with your mother? What she's saying is getting beyond a joke. I'm so tired of all the abusive comments and misunderstandings and all the delusional things she said to me.
Well, she's my parent, right? I guess she can choose to say whatever she likes.
I'd like you to tell her to choose her words more carefully when she's interacting with me. She even went to the extent to tell me that she hates me. Like, how could she do that when I've done so much for her? She even told me to leave the house. She was threatening to throw out my things if I didn't do any housework.
Look, what she said can't be helped. Her emotions aren't something that I could control. I can't tell her to stop expressing her feelings, especially the love and hate ones.
Even though I've got no intention of doing this, but you know that there will be trouble if I were to leave, right? Dylan, you know that I work so much all the time. I don't have time to do housework. Look, she's your mom. Can you at least try to convince her to treat me a little better, please?
But if I do that, it's going to cause so much trouble for me. If you're going to take this to a whole new level, why don't you just leave?
Are you serious? You think that I'm better off leaving? You think that's okay to do that?
I'm getting so exhausted just listening to you argue with my mother. My mom was also saying that she hates everything about you. To be honest, I feel the same way as her about you. I'm so tired of what's going on between the two of you.
Are you being serious right now? You hate everything about me? Have you forgotten what I've done for your family up until this point? What I did was all for nothing, wasn't it?
Well, now both my father and my mother are here. I don't really need anything from you anymore. I think I'll do just fine without you.
You really think you'll be fine without me doing everything for you? Do you really think you're going to do everything for your parents?
Yes, so why don't you just leave us alone to live our lives then? We'd be so much better off. My mother feels exactly the same way too.
Wow, is this real? Man, you really are a piece of trash, aren't you? You're such a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah? And what are you going to do about it, Sasha? Huh? You bad-mouthing me isn't gonna get you anywhere.
Well, I just had no idea that you were such a thoughtless dummy. You never think for yourself, you just go along with what your mommy says. No, now that I actually think about it, I had a feeling you were always going to turn out like her. I really can't deal with you and your crappy family anymore. Can you change your name as well, if that's all right with you?
Why should it be me that has to change things? You're being such a pain right now.
No, it would be impossible for me to do all the work if you want me to leave. Please, just carry the burden for once in your life. You need to get all the right documents ready, but if you don't want to do it, I guess I've got no choice but to do things myself.
It seems like such a hassle, though. But I get what you're saying. I guess we can finally end this and go our separate ways.
You're probably so glad that this is happening, right? The woman who is so blind to everything is getting out of here. I just heard what happened between you and my son. I heard that he was very successful in getting rid of you. Well, I suppose he was, yes. I was also told something that I thought was extremely rude, so I decided to leave as quickly as I could. You should have been leaving way before now. This is all your fault, and we're not taking any of the blame. Huh? What are you even talking about? You were too dependent on my son's kindness towards you. He hasn't said anything bad up until now. I guess you've been trying to get others to do what you should have been doing. You're able to make a living because I'm the one who does all the housework for you, isn't that right? You're delusional, Yolanda. You don't even make any of the meals for me, and the only housework you do is your own. Well, wouldn't it be better for you to do something about it? If you're going to be acting so cocky, the people around you aren't going to listen. Don't you realize how hated you are by us? You're so annoying, Sasha. Please, go ahead and say whatever you like, Yolanda. I know you're wrong. I really don't care about this anymore. I suppose I'll just do as you wish. If I must do that, then I will. It's finally happening. The trash is finally being put out on the curb. Would you quit calling me a piece of trash? I am not a piece of trash. I don't appreciate the rude comments. You're such a good-for-nothing scumbag, Sasha. Don't you see how much of a useless woman you are? Excuse me? Are you seriously trying to put me down right now? You've got to be kidding me, right? You're a useless woman that lives in a beautiful big house that my son bought, and you're not even grateful for this life he's given you. I hate everything about you, and it's time for you to leave once and for all. Now, get out! Yes, all right, I get it, Yolanda. I'll leave. It's all over for this family anyway. You need to leave immediately, and I'm not kidding around here. Of course, I totally understand. I've reached my limit of living with such an ignorant and stupid mother-in-law. You can't push me any further than this, all right? How about you go ahead and tell your pain-in-the-ass son that, okay? What on earth did you just say to me? Don't you think what you said before was a bit rude? You need to apologize right now. Me? Apologize? For what? You know there's no way I'd do that, right? Are you kidding me? Who do you think was more rude in this situation, Yolanda? Comparing this to your previous rude remarks, this is nothing. My stupid comments aren't a big deal. I find them kind of endearing. I'm your husband's mother, and you shouldn't be acting like this towards me. But I'm free to say whatever I like to you. Don't even think that I'll forgive you for your cocky attitude. If you're going to act like this towards my family, you can just leave right now. Haven't we already established that I should be leaving because of my so-called bad attitude? You know that it's all over for you and your family when I bail, right? Wait, what? What's that supposed to mean? What are you talking about? What's over? Well, if you don't know now, I guess you'll find out soon enough. Thank you for all that you've done for me up until now, Yolanda. But to be honest, what you've done until now has been an absolute joke. You can't even be civil until the end of all this. You're such a terrible woman. I never want to see your face ever again. Wow, what a coincidence. That's exactly what I want to happen as well. I don't ever want to see you again, Yolanda. Can you do that without contacting me, I wonder? There's no way that I'd ever want to talk to you ever again. You've ruined everything for this family, and you've been officially disowned. You're nothing but a stranger to us now, and we don't want you here, so leave and never come back. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I don't intend to come back. Since I was always such a nuisance, I'll just disappear. Please don't ever contact me again. I don't want to hear from you or listen to you complain about me anymore. Wow, this is hilarious. Are you insane or something? What do you want, Yolanda? Why must you contradict yourself? You say that you're never going to contact me again, but you leave me almost 300 messages on my voicemail? Don't you see how over the top that is? What's your problem, Yolanda? That doesn't matter right now. You need to answer your phone, for goodness sake. We've got no time to mess around at the moment. I left the house with a promise from you that you'd never contact me ever again. That's a better way to point it, right? Why should I be given orders like that from somebody who has treated me terribly? Honestly, I don't feel like answering the phone even if I was told to do so. Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Why are you still acting like a little brat? You should grow up and answer the phone like a real adult. I'm your mother-in-law, remember? You're supposed to obey me at all times. Oh, am I now? What a joke. I'm laughing so much that my stomach hurts. Would you quit it so I'm not in pain? I don't understand what's going on here at all. Why are you laughing about this when there's nothing funny? I love how you think you can still control me, Yolanda, but you can't anymore because you're no longer my mother-in-law. You did say that I'm nothing but a stranger to you now, right? Even when I left, I had a hard time holding in my laughter. But you seriously need to calm down. You're causing me so much trouble over trying to contact me even though I left. Is this about the loan you have? Is that why you're trying to talk to me? Hold on, what? But how could you have possibly known about that? Do you know how much the loan is on this house? Of course I know that. Who do you think was trying to pay off that loan this entire time? I've been the one who's been paying for it. Are you kidding me? That must be a lie, right? You've been paying for it? How can you afford to pay such a large amount of money for this loan? Dylan and I were so shocked about how much we had to pay for the recent loan payment. It's extremely high. There's no way that we can pay for that. Well, when I went through the process of switching the loans and changing the house into Dylan's name, I'm sure there was a statement attached to the documents about the balance of the loan, right? Huh? Are you for real? I haven't seen a loan that huge before. You're lying through your teeth right now, aren't you? It's pointless to lie like that, and I'm not punishing you that much. Shouldn't you be checking your documents right now? It should all be clearly stated in the document. When I originally bought it, it was a joint purchase between Dylan and I. I've been the one paying for the loan ever since my stupid ex-husband turned on me. So I just switched everything over to him. Normally, when your in-laws move in, they should be contributing a little bit. You really should have paid so you knew what it was like for me. Wait, so my son had no idea that you were paying for the loan and that he made no effort to pay anything? You backstabbed him. No, I think he knew that he wasn't paying for it. He was so lazy with paying for things. I don't think he's paid anything towards the loan for a long time. Maybe he must have forgotten that when it comes to buying a house, you pay the loan, and he just ignored his responsibilities. So who's going to pay back this kind of money towards the loan? There's no way that we can afford to pay for this by ourselves. Well, have you thought about leaving the house so that you don't have to? It would really make things a whole lot easier. Excuse me? Did you just tell me that we should be the ones leaving the house? We have more rights to this house than you do. Well, I'm really not an expert on this kind of thing. Look, I changed my name on the house through the proper procedures. It was all changed from my name to Dylan's name so that I no longer had to pay the loan anymore. I don't think you can escape this mess, to be honest, so I guess you'll just have to do your best in paying for the loan. You telling me your problems isn't going to solve anything, so just do what you need to do. Is this some kind of sick joke? But it was your mistake for not disclosing how much we owed on the loan. This is all your fault. You should be bearing some of the burden for this. We shouldn't have to pay for the full amount of the loan. This isn't fair. I see what you're trying to say. If you're going to insist that I do, maybe you should consult with a lawyer. But why should I need to do that? You should be doing what I tell you to do. You've made this a huge problem for my family. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think any lawyer would try and help you with this. It's not my fault that it's all in your son's name now. You're the one that neglected to check all the documents, and look what you were getting into by staying in that huge house. If you insist on taking another step further, why don't you just sue me? But to be honest, it would be a waste of time and effort on your part. What on earth are you talking about? Are you trying to provoke me into doing more to you? Why are you being like this? You think I'm provoking you? Why would I want to do that? You're a stranger to me, and I don't want anything to do with you. Please resolve this with your son and leave me out of it. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. You'll have to do something if you want to stay in that house. I don't get it. How is it that you have so much money to part out for all these things, and my son has hardly anything? How is that possible? Dylan works really hard and should be earning a lot of money for the household. Well, that would be a good thing to ask your son about, Yolanda. The reason why I've got a lot of money is because I run a company. Wait a minute, what? That can't be. You run a company? All by yourself? How did I not know about this? Maybe it's because you never asked me about my work. Besides, I wouldn't have even told you in the first place anyways. Especially because of the way you were treating me and making me be more of a housewife. A few years ago, I inherited a company from my grandfather. It's not really that big of a company, though. But even then, I'm able to make a decent living and enjoy the things I love in life, so it's okay. I can't believe this. You actually run a family-owned company? So does that make you a boss? Is that right? I suppose I am, if you put it that way. But as soon as I became the boss of the company, Dylan lost interest in having a job. He quit his job and just became a part-time employee at some company. He hardly works as much as I do. I'm sorry, what did you just say? Are you telling me that my son Dylan, my brilliant son, is only a part-time worker? He doesn't work full-time at all? No, he is not a full-time worker. I think he only goes to work 3 days a week, if that. During his downtime, he would be doing housework. I'd be the one going to work almost every day and kept the money coming in. I guess that's how it turned out. It all ended after Dylan decided to invite his parents into our house, even though you shouldn't have been living there. You've been showing too much hostility towards me, and I just can't deal with you anymore. It's not fair on me. Just hold on a minute there, Sasha. I didn't quite understand what you just said. I had no idea that the situation was like this. Sasha, the fact that you're a boss of a company is a huge honor, and it's a very important position to have in our society. Why have you been keeping this so quiet up until now? I don't get it at all. Didn't I tell you why I kept so quiet about my job? It's because you never asked and didn't want to know anything about me. Obviously, Dylan didn't say anything either, since he didn't want you to know that he's lazy and doesn't like working for his family. If you actually showed a little bit of interest in me, you should have asked, and we might have gotten along a bit more than this, but it's too late now. So that's why you were able to live in such a spacious house. I thought that it was Dylan who bought the house and paid off the entire loan. Well, no, that would be almost impossible. He and I shared the loan, and it wasn't paid off in full at all. Now it's solely his responsibility. That's just how it turned out. But I told you that things were going to be over for the family, right? Dylan dug his grave. He can lie in it. It was all because of me that you were able to live such a carefree lifestyle, Yolanda. It was thanks to me you could live in our house. I can't believe that you never thought it was me who kept you in that house. It's hard to find someone who would believe you if you just said something out of the blue like this. It's not entirely my fault that I treated you the way I did. I really still can't understand how it all turned out like this. It's not fair. It's not my fault that I thought you did nothing. You weren't being truthful. Even if you don't understand it right now, I am telling the truth, and I've always been telling the truth. It was Dylan who was making random decisions without thinking about the consequences. I honestly think it was really stupid of him to do what he did, but that's on him now. This is over, and I'm done with this. I don't have anything more to say to you or to your son about this mess. But you can't just leave us in this situation. Oh, we can't afford to pay the entire loan off. Aren't you going to help us out? Help you? Really? Why would I want to help you now after the way you've treated me? You're just strangers to me now, so I can't just help out someone that I don't really know anymore. Please, just do your best with paying off the loan. I'm sure you'll be able to be mortgage-free in no time. Or you can just move out. How could you act so cold towards your own family? You can't just not help us and abandon us with this issue. Oh, please don't do this to me. I'm your mother-in-law. You can't just leave me in this situation. We need you back to help us. Please just come back here and forgive me and my son. I don't think I will. It was a dark part of my life, and you're just a stranger to me now. I'm really glad I can say goodbye to an old hag and my stupid husband. Well then, from now on, just help out each other as mother and son. I think I just want to disappear from this situation. Isn't this great? I can disappear right in front of your eyes. It's honestly turned into the worst situation for you, so I'm going to leave you to it. It's your own fault that you got into this position in the first place, so there's no way I can help that, right? In the end, Yolanda needed to explain to her husband and her son Dylan what was going on. They couldn't pay the loan together as a family, so it seems that they decided to move out of the house. Yolanda blamed Dylan for not thinking about the loan. On the other hand, he used the excuse that he didn't say anything because he was kicking me out of the house. He had no words to say to his mom, so all he could do was apologize over and over again. It was also a disaster for Yolanda's husband, who got dragged into this mess. Maybe they're all paying the price since they didn't know how to communicate with each other properly. I heard that the family are trying to find a place to move into together. However, it seems like the only thing they can afford at the moment is a run-down one-bedroom apartment with ongoing problems. Hey girl, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. Milo is literally the most loveliest guy I've ever met. I spent a bit of time with him today and he was just so attentive. And you think he's just a waste of space? You're delusional. I don't get it. Why are you spending time with Milo? You know that he's supposed to be dating me, right? Do you not know your boundaries? What do you mean, why? Isn't it obvious? You know I have a right to meet up with people, including Milo, right? Since when am I not allowed to freely hang out with other people? Don't be stupid. I know you can, but you do know that I'm in love with Milo, right? Don't you know there's a friend code when it comes to relationships? You're just contacting me because you wanted to rub your encounter in my face, aren't you? That you're taking up his time when he should be with me? Have you ever thought that maybe you're tying him down too much? You better stop doing that so I can spend more time with him. Women who keep their men all to themselves are hated on a lot, you know? Milo also said that as well. It doesn't make sense why you're doing this, Samara. Why do you keep laying your hands on my man? Why would you do this to your friends? It's really horrible. This is the second time you've tried to do this, right? Why would you do that to me, to your own friend? Don't you think you're being a bit hasty by saying I'm trying to get my hands on him, Leilani? It's not entirely my fault, you know? Well, I did have my hands on the previous boyfriend I tried to nab, but they're just irresponsible. I can't help it. But I know that they can't help it either. Milo is just such a gentleman, and I wish that we could have a loving and peaceful relationship. I wish for that so badly, just for a man to love me. You want to be in a loving relationship with him? Excuse me? What is going on here? Why are you harassing me with this so much? Don't you remember that I moved away just so that I could get away from you and what you were trying to do? Why are you even in town right now? If you keep being all hysterical, Leilani, you're going to age like crazy and you'll be covered in wrinkles by the time you're 40. Maybe you should consume a bit more calcium? Do you want some supplement recommendations? I'll be happy to give you some. I'll also tell you some of the supplements that are good for when you need to diet as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I might have hit a nerve with that statement. Are you kidding me with this crap you're pulling, Samara? How far are you going to go? Or are you trying to make fun of me? Okay, you really need to answer my question. Why are you doing this to me? What have I ever done to you, Samara? I thought I was being a good friend to you. Because I want to enjoy my life and feel alive. What's so wrong with that? It just so happened that I match well to your boyfriend. But I don't have any intentions of stealing him away from you or anything like that. If that happens, though, it's not entirely my fault. You were pushing them away. Okay, that's enough. You're making me feel so bad right now. Don't ever contact me ever again. You're a complete homewrecker. You know that, right? Oh, wow. I didn't think you'd get so frustrated over something so small. You're such a loser, Leilani. Don't let this get to you. When we were students, you were always so bossy and telling everyone what they should and shouldn't do. You've never been cool. That's it. I'm cutting you off. I don't want you anywhere near me ever again. We are not friends, so stop trying to get involved with people in my life. Whatever you say, Leilani. You'll be nothing without me, you know. I am the only cool friend you have. You'll end up alone one day.
Hey, Leilani. How are you doing? Are you actually able to attend the wedding? I'm so happy that you'll be able to make the big day.
Why, of course I'm going to come to the wedding of one of the best colleagues I've ever worked for. Is it normal to be this happy about things like this?
Of course, because you've always taken care of me at work and have shown me the ropes. My goal is to be like you, Leilani. You're such a great person to work with.
You think I'm a great person to work with? Surely that's a bit of an exaggeration, right? I don't really do much at work.
No, not at all. It's one of my current goals to be a great worker like you. But I'm aiming to be something bigger than I am now. In the future.
I feel like that might be a bit rude, but I suppose there's no malice to what you're saying, so I guess it's fine that you said that. Anyway, I wanted to ask a more important question. The person you're getting married to, Samara, is it? What kind of person are they?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I could tell you a bit about her. She's about 4 years older than me, and I can rely on her for almost anything. Oh, actually, I'm pretty sure she's the same age as you, Leilani. If you'd like, I'd love to introduce you to her.
Oh, right. I see. The same age as me, huh? Wow, it really is such a small world out there. It's just so strange how people end up together.
Huh? What do you mean by that? Have you met Samara somewhere before? Are you acquaintances already?
I don't know if this is the same person that I've met before or not. I'm just theorizing if they have the same last name as the Samara I've met. I just want to ask you one more thing. Are you happy that you're going to be married to your girlfriend soon?
Are you asking me if I'm happy about marrying the love of my life? Of course I am, silly. She's the kind of woman I need in my life. She's very strong and helps pull me along when it comes to difficult things. That's why I feel like I have to do my best for her.
Well, that's really good to hear, Will. I'm glad that you found someone like that. Sorry, I was just wondering who she actually was.
That's okay, but I'd still very much like to introduce you to her. I'm sure she'd love to meet at least one of my colleagues.
I don't know, I just feel that something is off, but I'll happily support you on your wedding day. I wish you all the happiness in the world on your special day.
Aw, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much for those kind words, Leilani. Both of us look forward to seeing you on our wedding day. As a congratulatory gift, You don't need to get us anything too outrageous. Just something small is fine.
Oh, well, you deserve more than something small, but okay. Whatever happens, I hope you'll have a fun day to look forward to. Oh my god, this seriously isn't happening right now. Did I really just see you, Leilani, in the parking lot? Why did you come here? I thought that you cut ties with me. It doesn't even look like you're trying to do that. Well, I guess you found me, huh? That was really fast. I thought I could get away with you not seeing me. I knew you'd come around because you love me too much. Even though you said that you were cutting ties from me, you still decided to show up here to the ceremony. Well, I was sent an invitation after all, so it seems like I couldn't refuse this offer. Anyway, I have other things I wanted to ask. So first of all, what happened to you and Milo, huh? When I looked at the wedding invitation, I really thought it would be his name on it. Huh? Milo? Oh, right, him. Yeah, we broke up like a long time ago. When he opened up to show me who he truly was, he was just a normal and useless human being. It makes so much sense because he was dating you, and you're both more or less have the same type of personality. As usual, I am not surprised that you said that to me. You've been making so many snide comments towards me lately. Well, at the time, I had like 3 guys on the go at once, but I got so tired of getting all of their attention, so I dumped Milo and then the other one too. In the end, the one who remained is the groom. He's completely devoted to me. It's so sweet. He's so smart and caring and kind, and above all, very handsome. I see. Out of the 3 guys you were dating, he won, I suppose. I don't get why you do something like this, Samara. I thought you were more mature than that. Yeah, but of course he doesn't know anything about the situation I was in, and he'll never find out about it. I mean, have you seen my soon-to-be husband? He's really cool, isn't he? Also, he's an upcoming hire for this really famous company. He's still quite young, but I am sure he'll earn a lot more money from now on. Wow, Samara, do you seriously only think about your loss and gain from relationships? Don't you know how a lot of these men have loved you? Well, don't most people think like that? I mean, I guess I was in love with Milo for a little bit, but it was only for a short time. I just got so bored, you know? Well, I guess that also made Milo your ex-boyfriend, too. I guess he loved me, but he just always let himself wander too much when it came to the opposite sex. Okay, I get it, Samara. So how long will you be treating me as your enemy? I've not done anything to you. I suppose the grudge that you've had since we were students is still going strong. It's crazy. Huh? What are you talking about? This has got nothing to do with our student days anymore. I'm just living my life the way I want to. Besides, the person I'm marrying, Will, has no connection to you, okay? Why must I complain so much until you're satisfied? I think you're confused. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I somehow get involved with things that you do. It's because you made the decision to come to my wedding ceremony today, so of course you're involved. You need to take this wedding invite seriously. I don't just invite anyone and everyone. But to be honest, I just sent it with the intention of making fun of you with everyone from our school days when they arrive. Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You just want to watch me rot and make me feel completely embarrassed by how you stole my ex from me. How long have you been hanging around here for? This is actually really frustrating. Even though you lost your man so many times to me, you still showed up to the ceremony. Don't you realize that I sent that invitation as a joke? You do know that there are no more seats available to sit down at, right? I never wanted to go because of you, Samara. I haven't got a clue what you're on about. I got the invite from the groom. Huh? What do you mean you got the invite from the groom? How could you when you can't possibly know him? I came to the ceremony today because I received an invitation to come and sit on the groom's side of the venue. Even though you sent me an invitation out of spite, I was never going to support you and watch you get married. If you're planning on sitting on the groom's side, does this mean that you know Will somehow? Are you acquaintances? That seriously can't be true. You know that he's a really successful person, right? He's on a completely different level than you. The world that I live in is very different than yours, Leilani. Even though you don't know anything about me, it doesn't mean that you can talk down to me about my life. Hey, I know you very well. Ever since we were students, you were always the girl with a strong desire to get everyone's approval. Trying to stand out, getting the top score in all the tests we did, getting the first place in state for badminton. Everyone was thinking and laughing at you with how much you wanted to be noticed. Such an attention seeker. I don't get it. Even though you say that this has nothing to do with our school days, you keep mentioning it a lot. You remember things quite well. We should really get back to the topic at hand, since this is totally unrelated. I'm actually Will's boss at his company. Hold on a minute, what? I think we know for a fact that's not true. You do know that he works for one of the most well-known companies in the country, right? It would definitely not be the type of company that you'd work for. You've hardly got any qualifications to work in a top-notch company. I thought so too, but 2 years ago I was scouted as a programmer. Will also was hired to work as a programmer as well, okay? That's why as an educator, I have built a lot of relationships with people at the company, including Will. Will? A programmer? Really? First of all, we all know that you're talking crap right now, Leilani. Stop trying to bring him down to your level. Excuse me? No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm being serious. He's a programmer at my company. Why don't you try asking him for yourself? He's a staff member of my company and he's a programmer. No matter how you look at it, being a programmer isn't just some fun job he does on the side. I thought he was more of a businessman because he wears suits all the time. I thought that he was an accountant for a big corporation or something. Well, it seems like you don't really know who Will is as a person. You hardly know a thing about him, Samara. As long as he works for some hotshot company that's famous nationwide, you don't care about anything else, not even his feelings. It sucks, really. Yeah, I get it. Don't get mad at me just because I exposed what you truly are and how you lied about being able to come to this wedding. I'll ask Will now about his job and other things, so please just wait a moment, okay? Surely he'll tell me that he's a hardworking businessman. Why the heck would you hide something like that from me? Don't you trust me with things like this? Wait, what? What on earth are you talking about? What could I possibly be hiding, Samara? You are actually Will's boss, and you work at the same company. How did I not get told this? Why am I only hearing about this information now? I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this, Samara. I didn't even know until I received the wedding invitation. But you did find out after you got your invitation in the mail, right? Why didn't you contact me and tell me then? I feel so embarrassed about this now. How could I not see that he was some kind of programmer? How come I didn't see that something was happening? Look, I just didn't want to get involved because I knew that it was going to be such a hassle. I work with Will every day. I was invited to the wedding, and there's no way that I'd turn around and say I'm not going. He's my colleague, after all. I want you to go home right now. You are ruining everything. I'll explain to Will that you got sick or something. I want you to leave right now. No, I'm not just going to get up and leave now. I will enjoy watching the ceremony until the very end. No, I've had enough of your games. You need to leave this instant. It is such a pain to have someone as evil as you hanging around. If you don't leave now, I'll call the security company and they can kick you out. I don't want you hanging around here just so that you can stir up trouble. That's all you ever do. I have 2 invitations, Samara. Why am I the one being kicked out here? I've come here to celebrate 2 people getting married. Not a lot of people do that every day. Because I've had enough of you and you're really frustrating me right now. Why is this happening on my wedding day? Aw, I'm sorry that things are tough for you right now, but I guess hang in there. It'll all be over soon enough.
Leilani? I'm really sorry for all the things that are happening right now. I guess you and Samara did know each other after all.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was her when I got to the venue. I could hear her voice loud and clear. She was a childhood friend and my schoolmate. When we were in high school together, I thought that she was my best friend, but now, yeah, not so much.
Oh, is that right? Wow, I can't believe that you both went to the school and were friends. Man, this is a very small world. Okay, so what were you two arguing about exactly? Samara seems quite irritated right now. She was talking to a security guard earlier, so I was wondering what happened.
Okay, well, I suppose you're right. We did get into a bit of an argument before.
Okay. Wow. You were? Why would you both be arguing on a day like this? It's not the best look to be picking a fight at a wedding venue.
It was about a bunch of stuff, really. It was kind of petty what she was saying, in my opinion. We were childhood friends, after all. You're still happy to marry Samara, right? When you're together, you're happy, right? You don't feel anything negative?
Yes, I still do. But I'm a little bit worried about the situation now. Samara was always saying bad things about her best friend from school.
Wait, what? Why would she badmouth me for... I haven't done anything to her in my life.
Yeah, I had a feeling she was talking about you because there aren't many people named Leilani. And I knew you both were from the same area. She always used to tell me about the hate she had for you, and she would say just horrible things about you. Now that I think about it, when Samara was talking about you, it really did sound like it was all a lie.
Wait, it sounded like she was lying? What do you mean by that? What did she say to you exactly?
Well, I highly doubt that you were arrested twice for stealing, right? You didn't do that, did you?
Excuse me? Samara accused me of stealing? Is she insane? I don't get why she's making up so many stories about me. I thought she and I were friends.
Look, she always talked about this girl called Leilani, and apparently you were stealing things when you went to school together, and that's why everyone started to hate you. Also, during the preliminary rounds of the badminton tournament that you participated in, she said that she mixed laxatives into your water. I suppose that it was to prevent you from competing or something like that.
Are you kidding me with this crap, Will? Did she really do something like that? I don't believe this.
Well, that's what Samara told me. Then I heard that you were arrested for theft after you all graduated from high school. Apparently, you committed that crime twice, and that you ate gravel or something. It was getting weird by this point.
That story is complete and utter nonsense. You know that, right? And I don't eat gravel. Who says that? It seems like this won't work out unless I have a private conversation with Samara.
Yeah, I feel like I'm now stuck in a very awkward situation. I'm not good at dealing with this type of confrontation. I didn't think my wedding day would be like this.
I know what you mean, Will. I'm really sorry that you're having to go through this when it's supposed to be a happy day for you. Okay, I'm going to try and talk to Samara again about this. This has gone far enough now.
Yes, please try and talk with her. I would also like to request that the start of the ceremony be delayed as well.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you. I'll go and give her a piece of my mind. She needs to know how ridiculous this all is. Samara, we need to have a proper conversation. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. I wouldn't try and ignore my messages if I were you. Will told me all of the lies you've been making up about me. Are you kidding me? This isn't a good time. What do you even want to talk about now? There's no point in having the ceremony. I'm going home now. What do you mean there's no point in holding a ceremony anymore, Samara? You do know that Will was really happy to be getting married to you, right? Why is there no point in doing the ceremony anymore? You're just going to leave a man who's devoted to you at the altar? Really, Samara? And why do you think this is any of your business? I've made my decision, all right? Why are you butting into my life so much? This isn't because Will and I work at the same company now, is it? That's not the reason why you left the ceremony, is it? Because it's kind of pathetic if that's the case. What are you even talking about? Why are you trying to talk to me? Can't you just let me be? You're so irritating. I know that your purpose in life was to push me down and make me suffer for no reason at all. So to show off that your soon-to-be husband works for a successful company, you sent me an invitation to your wedding. Then you found out that I turned out to be his boss, so you can no longer try to pull me down. That's why you're acting like this, right? This is why you've gotten so depressed? Because I outrank you or something? Why do you think I feel this way? You're the one who's made me feel bad. Everything was your fault, you know, back then. Will told me that you gave me some laxatives. You put them in my water bottle so that I couldn't play in the tournament that day. I don't think it's a good idea to be having this conversation. I was just talking about my friends during my school life. I really didn't think that you and Will would ever meet each other. Like, what are the odds that you just happened to be in the same job sector anyways? Well, I don't mind if it's talked about now, but I wanted to say that I won the badminton competition because I worked and trained really hard. It's true that you were eliminated in the preliminary rounds, but I didn't care about you hating me. I just wanted to do well, and I think I did. You needed to get through those negative feelings you had towards me. You always stuck your nose up at me. You always looked down on people like me. You started acting like you were the school hero and that you could approach anyone about any topic. You used to always go home with me, but then you started walking home with your other so-called friends. You completely ditched me and didn't care about me. That's not... I didn't mean to. People just asked to walk with me, and I don't understand why you're holding a grudge against me after all this time. You're so annoying and always looked down on me like I was nothing to you. The same goes for when we had tests. You always got the top score in the class. That made you so popular, didn't it? Both good at studying and playing sports. Even though I tried my best, I could never beat you. I can't believe you're bringing all of this up when all this happened so many years ago, Samara. Then you started dating that guy, and I just couldn't believe that you'd betray me like that. You should have known that I liked him a lot. Hey, when I told you that he confessed that he had a crush on me, I told you then, remember? You said to me, don't worry about me. Just be honest about your feelings, so I was. I've always been open with you and tried to be your friend, but you made it really difficult for me. What else was I supposed to do other than say that? I couldn't help but feel frustrated and sad all at the same time. Look, I'm sorry you felt like that, Samara. I didn't realize that you held this all in for all this time. It's true that I may have underestimated your feelings. I'm really sorry for doing that to you, but you shouldn't let what happened in the past take over you. You can't hold on to what happened anymore. It'll eat you alive, Samara. But I also knew that you meant no harm. I think I was just making matters worse for myself. Thank you for apologizing. I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I did steal your boyfriend so I could get some sort of revenge on you. I wasn't really thinking about how you would feel about it at all, and that was awful of me to do that. Look, it doesn't matter. We don't need to keep bringing it up over and over again. I was so annoyed with what you both did. Either way, he was a man who couldn't resist the temptations of another woman. I don't know why men act like this and want to hurt women so badly, especially when they want to get with one of her friends. But I thought about all of this after I dated your 2 ex-boyfriends. I'm sorry to say it, but you really don't have an eye for men. Yeah, I get it, Samara. There's no need to start. But maybe you've got a better eye for men. Will is a really nice person. I suppose it's time for the ceremony to start already. What should I do? I've got no idea how to do this. Will must hate me so much right now for ditching the ceremony. I just thought there was no point in hanging around. Will is going around apologizing to the guests at the ceremony. When the bride runs away from the wedding venue on her special day, the most painful part is for the groom to stay behind and say sorry for what happened. If you don't get over here soon, Will isn't going to work it out with you. That's very true. Okay, I understand. Leilani, I really am sorry for what I did to you. I wasn't thinking at all. Also, thank you for everything you've done today. I'm just trying to help out my work friend more than anything. You've got to work really hard with him so that he understands what happened and what's going on now. You can't leave Will in the dark. I totally understand. I just hope that one day you can forgive me for what I've said and done to you. I didn't mean to do all the things that I did. All I wanted was my friend back, and you gained so much popularity over the years. Next time, you really need to tell me how you're feeling so that you don't jump to conclusions and create chaos in our friendship. Look, you're going to have to work super hard at gaining my trust back. I can't fully forgive you for what you did to me today because I didn't do anything to you. Look, all I want to do is enjoy my life, so let me do that. After that, Samara hurried back to the ceremony, but it was already too late and the wedding was canceled. She was scolded by her own father, and the groom's family were staring daggers at her. Will, who understood the circumstances, didn't abandon her. They've decided on a new wedding date and are now living together. Samara deeply regrets her actions on that day. Will decided to pay for all the expenses for the ceremony. He worked really hard at work every day just to pay off what they owed for the ceremony that didn't go ahead. He's also apologized to Leilani for what happened. To be honest, she didn't care anymore. She didn't think that it was something that she could easily forgive. She told them to keep apologizing until it felt right to forgive them. Maybe one day Leilani and Samara will be best friends again, but only time and enough apologizing will tell. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
I'm coming home soon. Do you need me to pick up something from the supermarket on my way home?
There's something I want to talk to you about when you get home. It's important.
What is it? Does something happen?
I only ask for one thing, and it's that I stop being a housewife for our family. I also have no intention of continuing my relationship with you. I have no faith in our marriage. The last 10 years being married to you was not a happy time for me. I'm going to concentrate on finding my own happiness now. I hope that you'll find happiness too. I won't sue you for the emotional abuse you put me through over the years. But please do one thing for me. Please take good care of our children. That's all I ask. Goodbye.
Okay.
Huh? Is that all you have to say to me? Look how much I wrote, and all you can say to me is okay? I put a lot of thought into what I was going to say to you. You're always so cold to me. You're a terrible husband.
What do you want me to say? This isn't the first time you said something like this to me. I'm sick and tired of you jerking me around like this. If this is what you want, I won't stop you.
Don't give up on us so easily. Don't you have any feelings left for me? You're not going to stop me from leaving you. Does marriage mean nothing to you?
Look, what do you want me to say? If you want to divorce me, I can't stop you. This is not the first time that you try to divorce me over chat. What is it that you're looking for?
I want you to stop me from leaving you. That's what you want too, right? I know you still love me.
I don't want to continue this conversation with you. I'm sick and tired of you stirring things up between us. In fact, I want to divorce you. You were right. The last 10 years hasn't been fun for me either. I want out.
How can you say that to me? Aren't you my husband? Stop playing games and ask me to come back to you.
What are you trying to do? Why do you want to make things so complicated? This is the first time that you said that you wanted to leave the kids, too. If you weren't being serious, you shouldn't have said such a thing about our children. That's sick.
I wasn't kidding. I had to say that in order for you to take me seriously.
I tried to take you seriously at first, but you like to make things so difficult for me. You've been acting crazy like this for the past 6 months, and I'm tired of it. Now you've convinced me that leaving you might be the better option for me. I'm prepared to end our marriage.
Prepared? Prepared for what?
I'm getting ready to divorce you. You've been asking me for months now to leave you, and I'm finally going ahead with it. I don't want to go back and forth with our decision.
Well, it's not an easy decision to make. If you asked me not to leave you, I'd reconsider.
Are you home right now?
I'm not. I'm not coming home until you apologize to me.
What do I need to apologize for?
Your behavior. Even if it's your fault, you try to blame it all on me.
I'd apologize if I thought that it was my fault. But this time, I don't think I've done anything wrong. It took me a long time for me to get the kids to go to sleep yesterday, but did you have to get so angry about something so small? If you're so good with the kids, couldn't you have tucked them in yourself?
I want a little more help from you. Just because I'm good at something doesn't mean that I have to do everything on my own. It's not fair. That's what I call emotional abuse.
You say that you're doing everything by yourself, but all you do is cook. You don't even work.
Are you making fun of the fact that I don't work? I'm busy too, you know.
I'm sure that you are. You take care of the kids and pick them up from school every day, so I'm grateful that you take such good care of the kids, but I also want you to understand that I work really hard too. And when I come home tired from work, you expect me to bathe the kids, clean the house, do the laundry, and vacuum? It's too much for me. And when you don't get what you want, or if things don't go your way, you storm out of the house and start sending me threatening chat messages. How do you think that makes me feel? That's why I decided that the next time this happens, I'm leaving you for good.
Are you being serious right now? You're divorcing me? You can't live without me. Apologize to me now and I'll forgive you. If you beg me to come back to you, I'll do it.
I'm home now.
Are you listening to me?
You left the kids unattended?
Don't bring the kids into this. This is between us. Now listen to me.
What if they were hurt? You're so irresponsible. Helen is only 3 years old.
Sean is already in elementary school. He's old enough to take care of his little sister.
What if they'd gotten injured? They can't take themselves to the hospital. What if a stranger comes by the house and they're kidnapped? Did you consider these things before leaving them by themselves?
Don't try to change the subject by making it all about our kids. What about me and my needs?
I've always prioritized your needs, but not anymore. I've had enough.
What do you mean you've had enough? You should be begging for my forgiveness.
I'm not gonna do that. Please, sign the divorce papers. You don't need to come home.
What? How can you say that to me? You can't kick me out of my own house.
Well, you're the one that left. You've been running away from home at least once a week for most of the year now. Did you think that I didn't know what you've been doing on those days that you weren't home?
What are you talking about?
You didn't think I was smart enough to figure out where you were, doing what? I know everything, so you can't deny it.
Huh? I don't understand what this is about.
You know what I'm talking about. Stop bluffing. Who is he, by the way?
Who is who? What man are you referring to?
Don't pretend that you don't know what I'm talking about. This is your opportunity to leave me for good and be with the other guy out in the open. You don't need to keep it a secret anymore. You were just using me to make me look like the bad guy.
I have no idea what you're talking about. If you're leaving me, you'd better pay me alimony and child support payments.
Yeah, whatever. I saw this coming.
What? You'd better pay up.
I've already discussed it with my lawyer. They told me that I have no obligation to pay you any alimony. You're the one that cheated on me, so you owe me alimony.
What are you talking about? You're the one that asked for the divorce. If you want me to say yes, then you should pay me alimony.
I have a record of all of our chat history. The ones where you repeatedly asked me for a divorce. I can print them and hand them to the court at any time.
Is that a threat?
It's proof that I wasn't the one that asked for a divorce first. Not that I need that proof, since you're the one that's having an affair. You can't get away with not paying me any alimony.
But what about the emotional abuse that you put me through? Things were hard for me too, you know. I didn't sue you for the emotional abuse because I didn't want our children to think any less of you. And you're going to sue me for cheating on you? It's not fair. I'm not going to pay you any money.
Well, you don't have a choice if the court orders you to do so. I also know that you've been stealing money from my bank account and transferring the money into your own.
I don't know what you're talking about. It must be some sort of mistake.
You've been taking out small accounts over the course of months. I'm onto you. I saved up that money before we got married, so it's not yours to take. I'm gonna have to ask you to pay me back for that as well.
Why do I need to do that? Besides, I only took the money to pay for stuff that our kids needed. You didn't give me enough of it to live off of.
I can't believe you would say that because you also took plenty from my main account where my salary is paid. I'm sure that you took the money so that you can use it after you divorce me.
I didn't think we'd be getting divorced so soon. I'm going to ask you to pay me child support payments. That's the least you can do for me.
I'll be more than happy to pay the child support payments if you're gonna take good care of our children. I felt obliged to give you child support payments, and I was more than willing to pay until I found out tonight that you left the kids home alone, unattended. Your parenting is reckless. I don't think you care about them. All you care about is yourself.
How the hell can you say that to me?
If you cared about them, you wouldn't leave a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old at home alone. You didn't even lock the door! Do you know how dangerous that is?
That's because
I don't want to hear any more of your excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
They sound like excuses to me. There's no good reason for leaving your 2 young children unattended. You said so yourself at the start of this conversation. You want the kids to be taken care of, so I'll do what you asked me to. They'll be happy with me. I have one thing to ask of you as well. Please divorce me!
Karen rushed home, but Ryan had already left the house with his 2 kids to go see his parents. Ryan took a few days off work and discussed with his parents about the next steps after his divorce from his wife, Karen. Karen came over to her parents-in-law's place and brought her 2 parents with her. They tried to get the children to come home with Karen, but failed miserably. Ryan told everyone about how Karen had cheated on him and tried to blame the reason for divorce on him. Karen's father slapped his daughter's face in anger. Karen's parents apologized to Ryan profusely for their daughter's terrible behavior. But Ryan had already made up his mind about the divorce, and he began the process with the help from his lawyer. He plans on suing Karen's lover as well. It seemed that Karen's lover was also married, so things were going to get ugly. All we hope for is that Sean and Helen still grow up to be happy despite their parents' divorce.